Hello, everybody, and welcome to another bachatarockstar Hearthstone video. So, I thought I was going to take a day off. I figured the reveal stream on Monday was going to mean no more new cards. Yeah, I was wrong. They just dumped a bunch of them on my ass. But you know I love doing this, so what the hell? Well, let's talk about more cards. I hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far. I have a dance event that I'm teaching at Monday night, so I'm not going to put out my video about the reveal stream until Tuesday morning, but it's going to be awesome, so please tune in for that. Don't forget, Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. we'll be doing our Star Realm stream, and then Thursday, this Thursday actually, there's going to be no stream. I'm going to the LA Summer Bachata Festival, so I will be gone Thursday through Monday, but if you guys aren't already tired of the expansion by Monday, I'm going to be doing a huge night stream Monday night when we get back from LA. I'm literally just going to come in and start streaming and stream until my heart's content. And so I hope you'll join me for that. Anyway, enough of the logistics and stuff like that out of the way. Time to get to the cards. I know that's what you're here for. Shaman card, Drakkari Defender. 3 mana, 2/8 taunt, overload 3. So, does this stat line look familiar to you? There was a little card called Deathlord. That was a 3 mana, 2/8 with taunt. That summoned a random minion for your opponent from their deck. So the drawback for that card, because you could get it out so quickly for 3 mana and get it out on curve where it was really, really difficult for your opponent to deal with it, was the fact that if they killed it, they got a minion. So tempo swing in that sense. Your play of the Deathlord never gave you card advantage. Well, not never, but for the most part did not give you card advantage. It's possible they rammed 3 minions into it before it died, and then they got a minion, so, you know, you lost a minion, they gained a minion, but they killed 3 of their minions, so it ended up being you know, you get ahead. This guy, on the other hand, man, you gotta really hope that they just have no way to remove it, because this dude is a big old baddie, a big old pile of stats, but if you play it on 3, the next turn you're only going to have 1 mana. And what are you going to do? Evolve? Maybe play a lightning bolt and overload yourself again? Play a firefly? I don't know how, you know, it's not exactly that overwhelming. So effectively, this is a 6 mana card, and would I pay 6 mana for a 2/8 with taunt? No. Not even close. But, as we know, it doesn't always work that way. There are a lot of people that are like, oh, well, look at the Bone Mare. Like, a Bone Mare is really good because it's essentially a 9/9 for 7. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a 5/5 that gives another minion 4/4 and taunt. Those are 2 separate things. You don't just pile the stats together. You have to understand each pile of stats separately, and the effect for this card is less damaging than it would be just spending all 6 mana together to get this card. The fact that you can play this on 3 on curve and have it just be this big old massive wall is really good. The fact that you can play this in the late game and then use some sort of mechanic that gets rid of overload, you know, the Eternal Sentinel, for instance, that's really good too. So think about this. You start making a taunt shaman deck, right? Just taunt shaman becomes a thing now, right? You've got your Drakkari Defenders, you got your Thing from Below's, you got your new Voodoo Hexer, I think was the name, the 2/7 that freezes stuff. You got your Earth Elementals, Then you got your Eternal Sentinels to back them up. And then you're just dropping big, giant, huge win conditions behind that. Either Jades or maybe Dragons. I don't know. But the deck is there. A defensive, maybe the freeze mechanic, right? Maybe you freeze stuff and you just get infinite value and just keep dropping taunts and keeping your opponent off you. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe there's a Malagos Burn deck version that just has a bunch of taunts and a bunch of card draw to help you stall out the early game, and then you just burn your opponent out with, you know, Malagos, Lava Burst, Lava Burst, Lava Burst. I don't know. Something like that. You know, I'm just saying, like, is there a deck there? Sure. Is there a place where the Drakkari Defender could fit in? Yeah, I think that is, you know. I don't think this card is as bad as it seems. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying I think it could have a place. It's just weird that this is a Shaman card. Like, if you gave this card to some other class and gave it like a different drawback, or, you know, I think it would see a lot more play in other classes than Shaman. Like, this has a taunt effect, but it doesn't have a freeze effect, so it doesn't fit in freeze Shaman. And I don't know if a defensive style Shaman is really worth building when you could just play token Shaman and then Bloodlust him in the face and kill him. You know, there's this idea in Star Realms where, like, there's a base strategy where you just set up a bunch of bases and then your opponent never acquires enough damage to actually bash through them, and then eventually you acquire enough damage to kill them. Well, you can make a similar deck, a deck that hides behind a lot of taunts and a lot of healing, but you still have to kill your opponent. You still have to figure out a way to do enough damage to actually kill them. And I think that's sort of the problem with a lot of these taunt decks, and the idea of a taunt deck in Shaman especially is, what is your other win condition? So you got to figure that out. But if you do, I think this card could see play. But as of right now, I don't see any decks that it's going to fit into. So I'm going to give it a 4. I'm saying it's below playable, but it has a chance to see play given the right deck and given the right archetype. But as of right now, I don't see the deck that it's going to get put into. Fallen Sun Cleric, 2-mana, 2/1, neutral, common, battle cry, give a friendly minion +1/+1. Neat. Well, Shattered Sun Cleric was a 3-mana 3/2 that gave +1/+1 to a minion. It used to be a 3-mana 3/3 and then it got nerfed. And then they introduced the Zubat, which was a 3-mana 3/3, which gave +1/+1 to any random beast, dragon, or murloc. That doesn't see play. That doesn't even see play in Paladin, even though I tried to make it work in Paladin. It doesn't even fit into the Murloc decks, which is weird, because one of the adaptations that you would get off a Gentle Megasaur is +1/+1. Wouldn't you want that? So can this card be viable? Well, it's a 2/1. The stats are poop. If this was a 2-mana 2/2, it would definitely see play. 2-mana 2/1 gets pinged off. So basically what you're doing is you're giving another thing +1/+1. Now, is this good in, like, egg decks? Yeah. And that's where I think it's going to see play, is in some sort of Warlocky, Zooey egg deck kind of thing, where, like, you know, you play an egg, you give it +1/+1, it trades in. You combo this with Abusive Sergeants, like you play the Abusive Sergeant, you buff something. You play the Fallen Sun Cleric on the Abusive Sergeant, now you get a 2/2, etc., etc. Like, there's a snowball effects there. This is also really good with Priest, with, like, Northshire Cleric, and then play this, and then you can double this up with the Shadow Ascendant, I think was the name. The 2-mana 2/2 that keeps giving +1/+1 bonuses at the end, the random +1/+1 bonuses at the end of the turn. So, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of stat buffy Priest thing that she can do that might be pretty good. Like I said, I think more along the lines of, like, eggs or really aggressive 1-drops. Maybe this fits into a quest hunter, or like a mid-range, not a mid-range, but like an aggro hunter that's just looking to play stuff and buff stuff. You know, I don't know. I think there's a lot of applications. Like, I know it's a simple mechanic, it's a simple thing to do, but but I feel like there's going to be a lot of reasons to play a card like this. And the fact that it's 2 mana allows you to play it on turn 2 and curve out harder with your 1-drops. I think that's really helpful. So I think this might see play in constructed decks. I'm just not sure what it's going to replace. Like, what is this better than? Like, what 2-drop that you would include into a constructed deck does this beat out? I don't know. I can't honestly think of any. So that's sort of my problem. Is it just like, it's a neat effect, and I like the cheaper mana cost, and I want to sort of use it, but I can't think of the deck that would actually use this as, that would slot out something to then put this in. You know, what deck has 2-drops that where they would want, that has enough 1-drops where they would want a 2-drop that buffs 1-drops? I can't think of anything. In the late game, obviously this gets worse if you have no minions, right? And then it's just 2 mana 2/1. It's a big pile of poop. You know, Shattered Sun Cleric to me is better than that, because even if it's 3 mana 3/2, while that's understated for a 3-drop, that's still not that bad, not as bad stats as a 2 mana, right? You still can't ping out for 3/2. So I'd rather have a 3/2 for 3 mana than a 2/1 for 2 mana. So this card is significantly worse if it has to be played on its own. And so, like I said, I don't know what deck it's going to fit into. Giving this a 4. I think it is viable in a sense. I think it could see play, but it's going to have to be probably in a deck that we haven't even seen yet. Shadow Reaper Anduin. It's the Deathknight card for Priest. Battle Cry, 8 mana, Battle Cry. Destroy all minions with 5 or more attack. Awesome. And then what's your hero power? 2 mana, Void Form. Hero power, deal 2 damage. After you play a card, refresh this. Wow. That's really good. That's pretty ridiculous. Being able to have multiple hero powers in the same turn is crazy. Comboing that with Kazakis is ridiculous, because then you could play a card, ping something, play a card, ping something, play a card, ping something. Even if you only play 2 cards, that's still two damage bursts directed wherever you want. You know, maybe this just goes face, and it just becomes the Hunter hero power. That's fine. Maybe you use it to clear off a minion or 2. That's great. You know, being able to take down a 4 health minion or even a 6 health minion is incredible. And the value out of this card is going to be insane. Now, it's significantly less good if you have to pay 2 mana for it, because it's going to be really hard to squeeze in more than 2 cards. But it's still not that bad. Now, the thing that this does require you to have, though, is a significant amount of cards after you've played this card. So something like an Archbishop Benedictus, something with like a bunch of insane card draw, it's going to be really good, which will give you, Archbishop Benedictus will give you a lot of cards, and then you need some other way to draw the cards a lot. You know, Northshire Clerics become huge. You know, Wild Pyro shenanigan combos with Circles of Healing become really big. Acolytes of Pain become really big. Loot Hoarders, Novice Engineers, whatever. Card draw. Card draw. Card draw. Really big. And the Battle Cry is insane. Oh my god. Destroy all minions with 5 more attack. That's like a board wipe Shadow Word Death. That's really good. just that alone is super sick. And so, in all likelihood, you're going to clear a good portion of your opponent's board. Yeah, you'll probably clear some of your board too, but maybe not. You know, Priest has a lot of low attack, high health minions, and I could see that being a thing and seeing play. You know, so yeah, this card is impressive, and it's a really great continuous value card, and that's the way that Priests play, right? They play for the long game, and Priest is going to be one of the longest game playing classes, I think, out of the entire expansion. So this is a perfect card and fits that archetype perfectly. I think this is the best Deathknight that we've had revealed so far. I think this is better than Frostlit Jaina. I think it's better than the Thrall. Deathspeaker Thrall, or whatever the heck that is. Actually, Deathspeaker Rexar. And then, whatever Thrall. The Thrall guy. I think this one is the best one so far. I think it fits Priest perfectly. I think it's really great value, and it's just an upgraded hero. And the fact that it basically is going to clear the board, or at least clear the big threats against you, is really, really powerful. I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. Obviously my highest rating. Play Dead. 1 mana Hunter spell, trigger a friendly minion's death rattle. Why didn't we have this card before? We have Feign Death, which was a 2 mana card, which triggered all death rattles. This is a good effect. And if Death Rattle Hunter is going to be a thing, this card is going to be insane in Death Rattle Hunter. This is the Princess Huhuran effect. This is the Death Scale Stalker. If I remember, I don't know, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. The 3 mana 3/3 that triggers a death rattle. And then this triggers a death rattle. Fuck yeah. That's awesome. And it's not a beast death rattle, it's just any death rattle. So this works on a Loot Hoarder for just cycle. Works on a Mistress of Mixtures to give you extra heal. You know, works on Cairn to give you another 4/5. Works on Savannah Highmane to give you 2/2s. Works on Rat Pack to give you the 1/1s. Works on Infested Wolf to give you the 1/1s. Like, works on Abominable Bowman to give you an extra Hunter, not Hunter, Beast, Hunter Beast. Yeah, I mean, the applications of this card are ridiculous. And now that we've got redundancy, we've got Huhuran, we've got 2 of the Stalker dudes, and then 2 Play Deads. That's 5 death rattle triggers. And then the minion doesn't have to die. That's insane. That's a lot. And that level of redundancy is going to make Death Rattle Hunter a thing. Oh, and N'Zoth. Forgot about N'Zoth, right? So, yeah, I think a tempo Death Rattle Hunter will absolutely be a thing. We'll absolutely see play now. And this is the card that will allow it to happen. I'm giving this card a 7 out of 10. It's not that versatile outside of a Death Rattle Hunter deck, but within that deck, it will be very powerful. So its lack of diversity is holding it back from a higher score, but it's going to be really strong in Death Rattle Hunter. Deathspeaker. 3 mana, 2/4, neutral common card, battle cry, give a friendly minion immune this turn. Better than Divine Shield, it's immunity. So if you ever have any sort of like self-damaging effects, they won't get hit. If there's any sort of like post-kill damage, Abomination, for instance, or Ticking Abomination, or Tentacle in N'Zoth, or whatever, this minion will not take damage. This is strictly better than Divine Shield. Is this a good card? Yeah. This is going to be a great arena card, for one. Is this going to make Constructed? I don't know. It's got a pretty good body. 2/4 is not bad for 3 mana. Ideally, you'd want a 2/5 or a 3/4. But 2/4 is okay. Not terrible. They probably felt like they needed to give a stat decrease because of the battle cry being as powerful as it is, I guess. The nice part about this is it allows you to trade up. It allows you to gain card advantage because your card will kill your opponent's card for free and not die, which is always great. Like I said, in Arena, I see its applications. In Constructed, I just don't know if it's strong enough. Maybe some sort of Zooey Swarm the Board deck. I could see this being played in Zoo Lock. I could see this playing in Zoo Rogue. Although, probably, I don't know. I don't know if this actually beats the Plague Scientist dude or the Shadow Blade. I don't know, Rogue's got a lot of good 3-drops now, so maybe this doesn't fit in Rogue. This might be good in like a Token Druid. Maybe. You know, it's got a big butt on it, so, and allows you to trade up. So maybe you play this, give a minion immune, you marker the Lotus everything, now it trades and cleans up your opponent's board, you get a 2/4 on the board now, that gets buffed to a 3/5, start attacking, like I can see applications. some sort of like tempo-based deck with high attack 2-drops that then trade up, 3/2s and whatnot. So I could see this card having a place in a deck like that. I just don't know if it's constructed viable. Like I said, the effect is really good. It's really strong. And this is another one of those cards where I'm just like, this is a neat card. This is a good card. Is it going to fit in my constructed deck? As powerful as it is, probably not. So I'm going to give this a 4/2. It's a good card with a good effect that I just don't think is going to make the cut in any decks. Rattling Rascal. 4 mana. Epic, 2/2, Battle Cry, summon a 5/5 skeleton. Awesome. Death Rattle, summon a 5/5 skeleton for your opponent. Crap. So, how is this card actually good? Well, you get a 2/2 and a 5/5, so that's great. So, first thought that comes to mind, silence this motherfucker. Second step that comes to mind, and coincidentally I said step, Shadow Step. This seems really good in Rogue, because then you bring it back to your hand, you get it for 2 mana, you get another 5/5. Sweet. Yeah. Any sort of like bounce effect. Maybe this is good in Priest with the Thoughtsteal mechanic. Not Thoughtsteal. Embrace the Darkness or Mind Control. Maybe just take their 5/5, the 5/5 that gets created. I don't know. I mean, there are ways to get around this Death Rattle. Another thing this would actually be really good for is Treachery in Warlock. You could actually put this in your Zoolock and play Treachery, and then just give this to your opponent, then you trade in and kill it, and you get a second 5/5. Maybe Treachery is a card. So, are there applications for this card? Yeah, and getting that 5/5 on turn 4 is really powerful. Getting a 2/2 and a 5/5 on turn 4 is really powerful. If you can just get around that Death Rattle, this is a really good card. And I could definitely see it seeing play in some sort of like a Zoo Priest to silence it off, or some sort of Zoo Rogue that would bounce this back into its hand just to keep getting 5/5s. Keep getting 4 mana 5/5s. Yeah, I mean, that's it. This card is not complicated, even though it seems complicated. It's got a lot of text on it. It's actually just a neat card. It's a really good card. I like it. I like it a lot. And will it see constructed play? I actually think it will. I really do. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I'm not sure what decks it's going to fit in, but I could see it slotting in very nicely into a significant amount of classes that would want to use this card. Wailing Fellhound, 3 mana, 3/6 demon. Whenever this minion takes damage, discard a random card. Well, discard lock should be really easy to do now. This card completely enables Blood Queen Lanathel. That's nice. It's a 3 mana 3/6, so it's got a big old body, so you're probably going to discard 2 cards at least with this card, which you actually might want to do considering how many bonuses there are for discarding shit now, which is insane. This combined with Malgazar's Imp is off the chain. This combined with Malgazar's Imp is off the chain. Yeah, I mean, this is another one of those cards where I'm like, wow, this is pretty good, actually. And it's a common, so it's easy to get. Yeah. This will definitely see play in a Disco Lock. And is Disco Lock going to be good? I don't know. I mean, it lost Imp Gang Boss, and Imp Gang Boss was a huge, huge, huge component to that deck. Does this card replace it? I don't know. Probably not. I think just having a 3 mana 3/6 is not that good. It trades into things with 3 health really nicely, but it trades evenly with a 4/4. That's kind of bad. I don't know. I mean, it's good stats, it's strong stats, but these are defensive stats. These are not offensive stats. And so you will probably have to discard 2 cards, and assuming that's what you want to do, it's fine, like if you're playing the quest, or you're playing Blood Queen Lanethel, you know. And again, we don't know what the Warlock hero, Warlock Deathknight is, so maybe this has synergy with that. I don't know. I don't think that Disco Lock is going to be good, so I'm going to give this a 5.5. I think Disco Lock will see fringe play. It'll be a tier 3, tier 4 deck, and this will be a strong part in that deck, but I don't see this card having any other applications outside of some sort of Disco Lock deck, and because of that, it has a very narrow scope to it, hence just not a very good score. Not a bad card within the decks that you would play it in, but just not a good card overall. Frost Clone, 3 mana Mage Secret. We got a new one, fellas! After your opponent plays a minion, put 2 copies of it into your hand. That's neat. That's really neat. It's a duplicate for your opponent's minions. So, value, baby. Obviously, you would much rather want to get your own minions back, and if they are playing around this secret like they would, they're probably getting something cheap. Some sort of 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop kind of thing, you know. So you're probably not going to get the huge value minions with this. But the ability to get 2 cheap drops on turn 3 is really nice. If your opponent plays a 2-drop into this, you now have a turn 4 play with 2 2-drops. That cannot be overstated. That is really nice to have to fill out your curve, you know. And in a way, this is going to really solidify the early game for a variety of mage decks. So I really like this card. I think it's really good. I think it's going to see a lot of play. I think it's one of those secrets that's actually legitimately good that I would just actually throw in. Is this better than Mirror Entity? No. Well, okay. I think Mirror Entity and this card are very similar because you're going to play around them the same. But you don't get the minion right away. So your opponent has summoned the minion, and then you would get the minion on your board. This gives you 2 minions, but you will have to pay mana to get them back. But the upside is you get 2 of them. So it's a much slower play, but it has higher value. And in a value style mage, in a secret value style mage, this card is sick. It's ridiculous. A lot of times, if you can get this down on turn 4, turn 5, turn 6, your opponent is trying to play a 4-drop, 5-drop, 6-drop. And so even if all you get is them playing a 2-drop, oftentimes what happens is you've disrupted their game plan for that turn. It's like, oh, I wanted to play my super strong 4-drop. I wanted to play my super strong 6-drop. Now I can't. I have to play my little weak 2-drop and then play another card behind that, and then my opponent's going to get 2 of those. And then it's kind of like, well, what do I want to give my opponent? And so then you've screwed up their entire turn by playing this secret. But them having to play around this secret messes up their whole turn, much like a Mirror Entity would. But a Mirror Entity is not so bad because you can immediately combat that with minions on the board. This puts them into your hand, and then you can play them later at your choosing. So that's kind of nice. Problem is this doesn't work for spells. So it doesn't help the quest mage any, but it does make secret mage significantly stronger. So that's where I think this is going to see play, is in some sort of secret-based deck, or maybe even some sort of tempo-oriented, like tempo mage style deck, and this would just be kind of the only secret that they play. Maybe this and Ice Block, and they're just trying to get a bunch of minions on the board, stick them, and go, 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 go. I could see this working really well in an elemental mage, like a tempo elemental mage, or even some sort of control value elemental mage that utilizes Frostlet's Jaina. A lot of applications. Love this card. Love this card. It's going to see a ton of play in a bunch of different decks. 8 out of 10 for Frost Clone. So guys, that's it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Like I said, I will make a video after the reveal stream later that night. It'll come out Tuesday morning, and then starting the following Monday after that, believe that's the 15th. We're going to do an all-night stream as soon as I get back from LA. So yeah, that's it. There you go, man. Those are the cards. We got some really great ones. I'm really looking forward to the set. Can't wait to hit you with the reveal stream and do a full set review and then finally talk about all the cards and see all the synergies. The video that I'm going to make will just cover the cards that were revealed on the stream and then revealed after that. So we're not going to do the entire set. I will do a full set review before I leave for LA, though. Thank you so much, guys. Keep learning, keep rocking, and the Rockstar will see you later. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you want to see the newest videos, you can click here. If you want to see a recommended playlist, you can click here. And if you'd like to subscribe, you can click right here. Thank you so much, guys. Keep learning, keep rocking. The Rockstar will see you later.